All right, well, welcome to Is This Normal, episode 3. You know me, I'm your host, Anthony, joined by my good friend and fellow sports enthusiast, Ben Parker. Ben, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Good, good, good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, well, we think we have a great episode in store for you guys tonight. We are going to be talking about NFL free agency, kind of doing a two-parter here on that.
Mhm.
We are going to talk about the most important position in the NFL, the quarterbacks. There's been a lot of movement this offseason, and we're just going to get into it, give you a breakdown, what we've seen, what we like, what we don't like. And I'm going to go right after the biggest fish in the pond with free agency, Kirk Cousins. So, Ben, talk to me. Kirk Cousins, he's in Atlanta.
He's in Atlanta.
What are your thoughts?
Big pickup for them. The price a little steep for a 36-year-old quarterback who's coming off an Achilles tear. Was it 4 years? I think 180 million.
Yeah.
So it's about 45 million a season. I mean, the division is weak, so I think it definitely moves them up in a position to where they could potentially win the division. Um, just looking at the division, I don't know who else you put above them right now with that supporting cast offensively. I mean, who else would you put? New Orleans?
Not really anyone. Not really anyone. I mean, I know Tampa Bay got it done last year, but this is the upgrade Atlanta needed. I mean, going from Desmond to Kirk is going to be huge. I feel like
Yeah.
it's the right time for Atlanta to make this move because you look at their core, Pitts, Bijan, Drake London. These are guys that are on rookie contracts. They have the funds to spare to get a quarterback who can push them over the top. Now they can make decisions later on do they want to keep these guys? Do they want to move on? So really, a well-timed move by the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I think if there's one guy who really loves this move is probably Kyle Pitts because that means he's going to get the ball, hopefully.
We're actually going to
And
throw to him.
yeah, and actually score touchdowns.
It's
I think just the one thing over Kirk Cousins is his health. Like, is he going to be able to stay healthy through this time?
well, I mean, it's the modern NFL. You know, I mean, guys come back from injuries better than ever before, and I mean, obviously, Atlanta's done their due diligence on where he's at,
Well,
but
but it's still a 36-year-old pocket passer with a torn Achilles. So even when before that he wasn't a runner and definitely not going to be running now.
true. We'll have to see what happens.
We will.
But why do you think he went there?
Probably because they offered him the most money. I would say. I saw a quote from him. He saw that I think Atlanta was a place he could retire, which
Mm-hmm.
I think if he went really anywhere on a 4-year contract, he should retire. I mean, he'll be 40 by the time it's over. So, I mean, he's not Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers. You can do this until they're over 40 and effective. Just with Kirk, it's when he gets to the playoffs, he doesn't do anything.
Mm.
He's, I think, won only one playoff game, and that was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So, not playoff proven, veteran. I mean, if he goes down, I mean, good luck to the second stringer.
Whoever that is. Yeah, exactly. And
I mean, whoever it is.
So what's your outlook for Atlanta right now then with this move?
Well, I believe, well, they won 8 games last year, I
They
think.
were 8 and 9.
8 and 9. So, though, I mean, with Kirk, if he stays healthy for the full season, I mean, probably 10, maybe 10. 10 or 11.
Yeah. I mean,
Probably 10, I would say.
yeah. Do they win the division?
Yeah, probably. I would say. Yeah, I think they win the division. I think they're a little bit better than Tampa with Kirk.
I mean, so you mentioned the money.
hmm It's a big contract.
Was Minnesota not offering him that money?
Uh, I, I don't believe they were. I think they might have wanted less years.
Minnesota wanted less. It was the guaranteed money, is really.
That's what, yeah.
What the breaking point was. He got 110 million guaranteed.
Yeah, and Atlanta knew that Desmond Ritter wasn't going to get him there.
No.
So, I mean, it was, to me, either him or Russ that they were going to go after.
Not Justin Fields.
No, probably not Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. We'll get to him. All right. So moving on. Russell Wilson, the other big name quarterback who hit free agency, probably the second biggest name. He's had a tumultuous couple years in Denver. He's a Steeler.
He's a Steeler. It's funny looking at both the quarterbacks that have already went there over 35. I think with Russ though, I think there's more upside with him. I think he's just obviously a way better player than Kirk Cousins, and I think makes the Steelers a better team than Atlanta, and then better than the Steelers were last year. They just snuck in the wild card last year, and the way that division, I mean, they'll get second. They're not better than Baltimore, but we'll still have to see what Russ does. Not last year, but the year before he was a little shaky. But if he can overcome that and go back to like the Seattle Seahawks Russ, then Pittsburgh is going to be a pretty formidable team.
Well, it's a playoff team last year, and I feel like Kenny Pickett to Russell Wilson's a big jump. Now, Russ's struggles, would you say they're age related, or would you say they were the system he was in, or just growing pains with a new team?
Probably I would say probably the coaching, the scheme that they were running, and just getting used to playing in Denver.
You look at it, right?
With the higher elevation.
When you look at his rough year, it was Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
Last year he kind of bounced back a little bit last year with Sean Payton, but
you look at his stats and it's like, what happened? Sean Payton's what happened.
Sean Payton helped. Sean Payton helped fix it some.
Yeah.
But why Pittsburgh for Russ?
Well, I think it's one team that definitely needed a quarterback upgrade, and the Steelers are probably thinking that they could maybe looking into a win-now situation, and I think Russ is probably the only guy that they think that can actually get them there. He's more proven than Justin Fields and is better than Kirk Cousins, and unless you want to give up a lot of assets to get a better quarterback than Russ, then that's what you do.
Well, why a 1-year contract for Russ too, though?
Probably just to prove a contract for him. I mean, it's been done in the past where, this guy's coming off of 2 seasons that, besides his statistics, he didn't win anything, didn't accomplish anything, didn't go to the playoffs, nothing. So just give him a 1-year prove-it deal, and if it goes well, great, you can re-sign him to a 2-year extension. Or if it goes bad, then you just start at where you were. You cut him, or you just don't sign him, or you draft somebody.
Well, does it put Pittsburgh, you actually read my mind, does this put Pittsburgh on the radar to draft a quarterback, would you say? By only giving Russ 1 year?
Yeah, I would say so. You had a 35-year-old starter who you only gave 1 year to. They traded Kenny Pickett a little bit earlier today, so they clearly think that he's not the guy to get it done for them. So it's either you sign a guy, trade or draft. And the way it's been proven in the NFL to work and to win is you draft a good young quarterback who's inexpensive, and then you build around him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and there's been other quarterback moves too that I want to hit on. Like you alluded to it, Kenny Pickett. Kind of surprised today that he got shipped out to Philly for very little. It's essentially a pick swap plus Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
What I'm reading is that he was not receptive to Russ coming in and having to compete for the starting job. It was a factor in Kenny getting shipped out. Why did Philly go get him? Do they just want to back up? Should Hurts be alarmed? What do you say to that?
No, I don't think Jalen Hurts should be alarmed. I think it's just... Well, I think if you look at a lot of the quarterbacks who've signed or have been signed recently, it's been more backups than anything.
Yeah.
This year, I think if you look at the Jets last year. Their whole season got basically ended in like a few minutes because of Aaron Rodgers getting hurt.
You can't sleep on the backup quarterback position. No. It's the most undervalued position in the locker room because, like you said, one play and you're the guy for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett, too, you think about an upside standpoint for Philly. They gave up almost nothing. He's a young guy. He's on a rookie contract. He's an inexpensive backup quarterback. They'll get the fifth-year team option. Best case scenario for them is he has to come in, plays a few games, plays well, and you flip him for a better pick next year or the year after.
Yeah, he's definitely an asset to a team who could potentially need a quarterback, or a team who doesn't get their guy in the draft. And they're like, well, who can we go get with maybe a mid-round pick?
No.
And the Eagles are like, well, this is a guy who we can get.
Yeah. Couple others I wanted to hit on real quick. Garoppolo to the Rams.
Yeah, good back. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
He's a good backup.
Pretty cut and dry.
He's not the best starter, but
no.
You'd take him as a backup.
Pretty cut and dry. Yeah, he'll be the guy to sit behind Stafford this year.
Yeah, it's like what the Raiders did. They got Gardner Minshew to be their backup right now.
Maybe he starts.
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
Why wouldn't he
he's
start?
definitely going to compete.
I don't know. I mean,
I
I'd just put him over Aiden O'Connell personally.
I mean, I think I would be very surprised if they don't draft a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, that's probably could be what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Last guy I want to hit on, Justin Fields. He's still a Bear. You hear a lot of different reports on what his trade value actually is right now
Yeah.
around the league. I mean, Atlanta's spot's filled up. Pittsburgh's got their guy now for the next season. What's going on with Justin Fields? Is he going to go somewhere where he can start this year? Or just give me a take.
But I mean, I would find it very hard for Chicago not to trade him. I mean, they're probably going to go with Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. I don't think there's anything questioning that. Maybe the Bears. I think you're maybe just asking a little bit too much. And when teams are looking, they're like, I mean, his win record is not great. He's been real. I mean, he's had ups and downs, more downs than ups. So maybe teams aren't willing to give a lot and gamble on a guy who is not a proven quarterback in the league.
No, yeah, and as far as why he hasn't been traded yet, I mean, we don't know. I mean, Chicago could be holding out for a better offer, right?
They should. I mean, they spent a lot to get him, so I think it makes sense. But I mean, if they wanted to in division trade right now to Minnesota, they need a quarterback. I mean, if you look at their depth chart right now, their their quarterback. If the season started today, is Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold's the guy. I mean, do they move for Fields at the right price?
See, I don't think they do though. I think they're in a little bit of a rebuild because they lost a few. Well, we'll get into that in the next episode.
We will.
But
the short answer, you think no, they don't make
No,
that.
I don't think they're going to make an in-division trade. That's just a rare thing that happens, and I just
maybe
Chicago's
Chicago's last resort.
I think if you're a team that maybe want to go all in, I mean, I wouldn't see why the Giants wouldn't do it. They've had a pretty decent offseason so far.
I mean, yeah,
getting a couple key guys for that team.
They did. We'll also get to that in our next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as this episode and talk about the quarterbacks, that's really everything I've got to talk about.
Yeah.
We want to thank you all for joining us. Really had a good time. I think we covered a lot of ground. There's a lot of big movement. We really talked about a lot of good stuff. So, hey, don't forget, guys, like and subscribe. Really means a lot to us. And we will catch you next time. All right. Thanks, everyone.